Hello out there, and welcome to the Jimmy Boy Hour. I'm your host, Omarcomin, the biggest Jimmy Boy out there. And this video blog is designed to try to take the average Jimmy Boy to the next level of playing. That'll include a little bit of tactical analysis, a little bit of advice, mostly just breaking down games and trying to explain the thought process where possible. I'm pretty new at this video editing shit, so this one feels a bit rushed, but we'll do our best. This is a 4,500 point 9th age game against a local opponent named Lionel. Fairly inexperienced player as well, but it was a good game. We'll jump into it with the lists here. I will say Lionel is a far superior painter to me, if he's not a superior player. My list begins with the gyrocopter, the cornerstone of any good Dwarven Holds list. Got 2 units of 13 miners with pistols ambushing. Got 2 units of warriors, 12 each, throwing weapons and shields. My mercenary spearmen with throwing weapons, shields, and spears. Vanguard as well. Vanguarding unit of Deep Watch with the BSB and the King inside. This is probably one of the heaviest units, one of the units that does a lot of the heavy lifting in my army. I'll jump into what the King has when I get a second here. Oh, I do have lots of time. I built it in. Nice. So the King has got the Rune of Smashing, which is Strength 10 against Toughness 5 or higher, as well as multi-wound D3. He's got the shield for protection and shield bearers, so he's tough 5 with 4 wounds and 1 plus armor, 2 plus armor. Sorry. We've got the 24 Seekers with the Dragon Seeker in there. The Dragon Seeker is kitted out to be initiative 8 on the charge with the Rune of Precision, so he hits most things on 3 plus, and multi-wound 2, so very good against ogres, which will play. No foreshadowing there, but will play a big role in this game. We've got 2 units of Rangers, which I'm sad to report will probably not be in this list in the next iteration of the rules. And we'll jump into Lionel's army. So he's got the Bruisers, a whole bunch of them, 10 with great weapons and the Ether icon. He's got 7 mercenaries here with the those fists, the iron fists, 8 bombardiers, Kin Eater ambushing, because why not? This picture. Huh. We've got the Yetis. What the fuck? And we've got a bunch of scraplings. There. 29 scraplings with shields. Here are his characters. So he's got a Great Khan, which is the butcher there. He's got the Crown of Scorn, a great weapon, Hellfist, Mammoth Cloak Hide, Ogre Crossbow, and a Talisman of Supreme Shielding. Mammoth Hunter has a bronze breastplate. He's a headhunter with an ogre crossbow and a talisman of greater shielding. So both of them are pretty stout defensively and can dish out some damage. I probably feared his Mammoth Hunter a little more than I maybe should have. And the result is fine, but I probably could have used my spearmen a little more effectively. So here we go. This looks like the end of deployment, more or less. I haven't yet vanguarded up the Deep Watch unit, but they'll take their full 12-inch vanguard forward towards that hill. And really, my goal was to try to win. Wasn't to win the first turn necessarily, but to get good counter deployments. And if I could take the first turn, that was a good bonus. So I did manage to get decent counter deployments and secure the first turn. I believe the third he placed was those Bruisers. So once he placed that, I went all in with the rest of my army. So here's the left side. He's got his Yetis, Mammoth Hunter in the woods, and his fat mercenary unit off to the side there in the back. Obviously the Yeti's Vanguard. And this is the right side. So you got the Deep Watch, some marksmen, 12 warriors, and the Gyro. Gyro I wish had been on the other side of the board, but it didn't matter too much. So here's the Spearmen, Seekers, Rangers, and there's another unit of warriors behind those Rangers in the wall there. And that's impassable terrain in the center, so we sort of split his army up into 2. I shove it up forward with Deep Watch and turn to face his scraplings because nothing else could charge them, so he would have to maneuver, and in which case I left myself in front to charge on them if they went up to the top of the hill. Where I I shoved forward the Seekers so that his Mammoth Hunter couldn't charge past them into my spears. I was very worried that his Mammoth Hunter would eat my Spearmen. I don't know if that was rational or not, but I was pretty fixated on protecting my Spearmen from a combo charge or a long charge from those guys. Looks like I've moved up with everything else here. Rangers move forward, Warriors move forward, Gyro kind of came off to the side. Warriors move forward behind the Rangers, probably just shot. Yeah, looks like they did a wound onto the Yetis, who are, again, he does such a nice job on these non-metallic metal ice. This looks like the top of his turn one, so I'm really charged with his Yetis into the flank of my Seekers, and I don't give a fuck because I'm a break, so you know. And that fell right into my hands in just a second. He also charges Scraplings, which is a bit of a surprise. I kind of expected him to march past the position differently, but I'm fine with that. That's cool. He did not charge with his Cannoneers, which again was a surprise. Combo pretty hard there. Just shuffled forward into the water there, shuffled forward with his brothers. Here he moved around with his Mammoth Hunter to get the fire into the side of my Spearmen, and moved up his mercenaries. Okay, so he fired with his over crossbow, doing his penetrating, which was kind of interesting. Penetrated ranks. It retains its armor piercing in spite of losing strength and penetrations. Failed my armor tests. And he killed 2 warriors with his bombardiers, which is pretty reasonable. Combat looks like he killed 2 Seekers. And he killed one of his and did an additional 2 wounds to another one. It's total, I guess. And this is on a flank, mind you. So additional hand weapons attacking to the flank. So I still had 8 attacks, or maybe even 10 attacks back at the Seekers, plus whatever he kills. So I managed to rout them, but I do not pursue because off to my left there is these 2 by far scariest units on the table. This being his Mammoth Hunter there, and General Mercenary unit just slightly beyond. So I have an overrun. I can kill that Hunter straight into his General unit, which would be ideal. In combat with Scraplings, it looks like my king killed 2, which is pretty gas. And I think the BS, I don't know what 6 is, but anytime you roll a 6, you should definitely take a picture if you roll dice like I do. So there you go. There's that's proof I roll a 6 occasionally. So it looks like we killed 3 Scraplings with the Deep Watch, which is massively disappointing considering how much each unit there costs. However, it looks like he failed his steadfast here and ran like a witch, which was both a relief and kind of unexpected. I planned to support charge with my warriors on my turn. And there, that looks like the end of turn 1. So that's where it sort of stands. Top of turn 1, I'm charging his bruisers with my Deep Watch for sure. Oh, I also charged with my Gyrocopter, his fleeing Scraplings, to try to shove him off the table, but I think it failed. Over here my miners arrive, both of them arrive, those ones pop up behind his mercenaries to shoot the shit out of their massive behinds. And my Seekers charge into the flank of we all expected. A bit bummed those Yetis fled because my spears were supposed to support charge in the flank and then move the action with the potential flank charge on the mercenaries next turn. Oh well. You shouldn't complain anytime you rout enemies. We have the other miners at the back shot shit out of those Yetis. I believe I killed all but one. Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I forgot 4 models, so that unit is actually 13 strong, but I forgot 4 models, so there's a dice in there counting the 4 that are missing. Over here, my warriors shuffled forward to throw some throwing weapons. Gyrocopter obviously didn't catch the Scraplings, but he also didn't push them off the table, which kind of sucked. My marksmen or rangers shuffle forward to try to get into scoring position. and shoot the Yetis as well. Beautiful picture of some cannoneers for I'm not sure what reason. Aren't they lovely? I'm not sure why I took this picture, and I'm not sure why I took it 4 times, but it has to do with something. Yeah, oh, I threw throwing weapons and did a wound, that's what it was. Yeah, so killed all but one Yeti over here, with the miners firing their pistols at short range, and the rangers supporting. Did 2 wounds with the other pistols. Very disappointing here. If I had chipped off 1 or 2 bodies, that unit becomes a lot more manageable. But, yeah. Why did we roll a 3 on here? Not quite sure. On we go. Here we've got the Seekers. Oh, yeah, so the combat with Seekers, Mammoth Hunter. Dragon Seeker obviously did a bunch of wounds, but wasn't able to kill him outright, which was very disappointing. He had that that cloak that gives him a 1+ armor, I believe, and he fled and managed to flee. I didn't catch him, and he made it just beyond. In fact, this was really frustrating because not only did I not catch him, I didn't clip the general's unit, so I'm just kind of sitting there and gave him a bunch of options. Obviously, the Deep Watch and King made it into the side of the Bruisers, but there's nothing in there T5, so the smashing room kind of sucks. But I am Strength 5 on the charge and managed to kill 1, do 5 wounds with my King, I guess, with a multi-wound D3. So that's good, killed 1, knocked off another 2 wounds. I guess my BSB did at least 1 wound and killed another model. And the unit will also be Strength 5 on the charge, which is great. Anyone who thinks Thunderous Charge is not a good rule can suck a dick. Here we go. He killed 4, it looks like, on my side with stomps and great weapon attacks, and fled. Now again, I failed to catch him with my stumpy little dwarf legs, so don't let anyone tell you that dwarves aren't, or are fast. And it looks here like we're on turn 2 or turn 2 ogres or turn 3 ogres. He charged here with my gyro and my warriors, both of them fled. His scraplings rallied, sadly, because now I have to deal with them, and they're truly obnoxious. They're just, I mean, they don't do anything. They're just in the way. I don't know. We were talking about them after the game, how they can take 65 models. That's kind of cool, I guess, but 65 piles of shit is still shit. So there you go. I think the Yetis fled off the table, it looks like. Failed their leadership and fled off the table. He turned his mercenaries to face my miners, which is probably smart because they were going to take a rear charge. But couldn't figure out a way to redirect with his Mammoth Hunter to prevent me from rear charging. His Kin Eater failed to ambush, which is always funny. And so here we go. Top of turn 3. He didn't, so there's no combat in that round. So there he is with his Mammoth Hunter. I don't think he wanted to redirect me, actually. I think he just wanted to not take a double charge, so me kill the Mammoth Hunter and then charge into the back of his other guys. So he knew it was going to die, and so that's how it goes. He rallied his Bruisers and faced my Deep Watch. And here we have the showdown between the Seekers and the Mammoth Hunter, who has 2 wounds remaining of his 5 after the first encounter. So, yeah, fuck you, buddy. Here's my Seeker showing him all the disdain he deserves. I really like that model, though. And looks like my Deep Watch completed the charge, as well as the miners in a supporting charge, so that unit is basically fucked. And I'm not sure what this is, but enjoy. Yeah. On we go. Here's my miners, warriors. It looks like they failed to rally. Is that possible? Continued to flee? Could be. Yeah, I believe they did. But the gyrocopter did rally. and turned. And I believe I make a mistake somewhere here. Yeah, so here's how things look right now. So the Rangers moved up onto the hill to fire at the Scraplings, because why not? Deep Watch are engaged with the Bruisers, and it looks like this is my stand and shoot. No. Oh, I failed. Yeah, I failed in shooting to do any additional wounds onto the mercenaries beyond the. Or maybe we killed a model. Yeah, because I already had 2 wounds on it. So we killed a model and did 1 additional wound to 1 more, but that is not nearly enough. If we killed 1 more, his impact hits would have been strength 5 instead of strength 6. So, you know, small victories, folks. Small victories. So the Scraplings are alive and well, sadly. And the Seekers deleted his Mammoth Hunter for obvious reasons. Among them being my Dragon Seeker that's initiative 8 with 6 attacks, multi-wound 2. And so we pivot to face the ass of the mercenary unit. And I love, like, even just individual pant colors. Like, I never bother with that shit. Everything's purple, or everything's blue, or everything's red. It's just how it goes. And here's this combat, which is a foregone conclusion because we did manage a lot of wounds here, actually. A surprising number of wounds onto the Deep Watch. And that's just because of the volume of strength 6 attacks these guys pump out, right? Like, when you're reroll, or you've got a 3-up armor save that goes to a 6, you're not going to save everybody, but even still, I think I managed 2 or 3 saves in that combat, so 6 dead is not that bad. Anyway, I ran them down with Deep Watch. The miners turned to face the Scraplings out of sheer bloodlust, and yeah. So that's sort of where the backfield is at this point. The plan was to take the Deep Watch across to assist with the mercenary unit. Not that it was really needed, but they're already scoring, so we can kind of just chill out now. They've done their job. They can have a bagel and some cream cheese in the background there. What's going on here? Yeah, so this is his turn 3 or his turn 4 at this point. I think it's his turn 3. Charged my Rangers with his Scraplings, and I said, okay, come into me. And charged my Miners with his Mercenaries, and I don't think I did a single wound with stand and shoot, which was a little disappointing. Yeah, not one. And these guys will have strength 6 impact hits. I believe his general has D3 impact hits, so I think he did an awful lot of wounds just straight through impacts. His cannoneers move forward. Now here I got a little bit confused, and I'll tell you about it in a second. Yeah, that looks like he did 6 or 7 wounds impact hits. So at that point, that unit, whether it lives or not, is gonna break, and there's not much you can do. His Kin Eater came on the back. That unit in front of him is fleeing, but I don't think they'll flee for very long. Oh yeah, okay, here's his 28 mercenary attacks. And with that number of dice and strength 5 attacks, you can pretty much say goodbye to any dwarf unit. Any MSU or medium MMU dwarf unit. So we turn to face the Seekers, which are his impending death. And here we go, turn 4. You already know. You already know. This is Jimmy Boy hour, you know what I'm saying? You already know. So, here's how things look at the beginning of the turn. His Cannoneers. So here's where I got confused. Now scoring, the scenario in this was, it was a battle line with breakthrough. And so I thought that if he had a scoring unit inside of my deployment zone, that he would also get the scenario, right? So that you end up with, he would end up with 3 points. Oh, it looks like my Miners charged the Scraplings and nuked them on the charge with 18 strength 5 attacks from that unit. And I charged his mercenary unit here. And he challenged me, so I accepted with my champion, who's gonna fuck him up. Now keep in mind what does his general have again? His general has the Great Weapon, Hellfist, Mammoth Hide, Cloak, Ogre Crossbow. Now that was funny because the Great Weapon, I think on ogres is like a red herring. I don't think you want it at all. Oh, this is my Dragon Seeker's 6 wounds on 6 attacks, which results in 12 wounds because he's multi-wound 2 and 4 dead mercenaries before they even get to attack. So if you're fighting ogres, if you're fighting anybody, don't leave home without a Dragon Seeker. They're just so good. Don't tell anyone. Yeah, so the Cannoneer unit, here's how I made my mistake. Where I made, oh fuck, okay. Here's the challenge. Looks like my champion landed a wound with his 3 attacks because he's got the additional hand weapon. So he's got the 2 attacks on profile, the 1 attack from the hand weapon. Dies, but does another wound on his death blow, which is fucking sweet. And then his ogre stomped the fuck out of my corpse and I think got full overkill. But even with the 4 wounds his mercenaries managed to do, I killed all but one. Yeah, killed all but 1 ogre in the unit, and they're auto-breaking at this point. So it's interesting to me that the ogres don't have, even mercenaries don't have bodyguard or anything like that, but I guess they rely on just combat prowess. So anyway, I overran, ran off the table, and so my Seekers are off the table, but I think we're at the top of turn 5 now, and it's my turn. So now I can finally explain to you where I fucked up. Now, I could have just kept moving forward with everything and let him run into the backfield with his Cannoneers, but I didn't realize that the way the scenario works, this being breakthrough, that it doesn't matter if your opponent has a scoring unit in your deployment zone, so long as you have more scoring units than him in his deployment zone. So I could have just basically ran away and not given up any points. Now, it didn't matter in the end because I think he only managed to get a total of 605 points off me. This is his ambushing Kin Eater that finally arrived and took a charge from some stalwart dwarves who failed a leadership or a fear test in the first round of combat, which, you know, I mean, this is all a foregone conclusion at this point. I've basically killed everything he had of any value on the table, and all that's left are the Cannoneers. But I think the breakthrough scenario is a little bit confusing in the sense that you can achieve the objective by having a scoring unit in your opponent's deployment zone and not actually gain the objective. So the result of this game ultimately is a 20-0 for me. However, I could have saved a couple points, but you know, it was still sort of a friendly game, so I wanted to try to chip some wounds off that unit or try to rout it if possible and see what I could do. Ultimately, his Cannoneers turn around and blast my gyrocopter, and I think they'll also get the Rangers. This Kin Eater battle is pretty funny, though. He doesn't ever manage to do more than 1 or 2 wounds at a time, and Dwarven leadership being what it is, particularly when it's steadfast, even when afraid and rolling an 8, I don't really go anywhere. And I managed to even bring in another unit of warriors who don't do anything. And the game basically ends like this, locked against his Kin Eater with my warriors, with his Cannoneers chilling in my backfield, and the rest of my army just kind of going, anything left to kill? So there you go. That's a 4,500 point victory for the Dwarven Holds. Again, I think this list, the key to it obviously is fast units that hit hard. And even the Spear unit that didn't get to see any action. If you let it into combat, it's going to get you. Like it's got a lot of static res. Anyway, guys, that's it for me today. Stay Jimmy, and I'm out.